This is a quick tutorial on how to effectively integrate tags and categories into your Edublog. Although tags and categories are useful for a number of different organizational purposes, the specific need I'm thinking of with this tutorial is for teachers who are using their blogs as home bases for more than one class, and would therefore find it useful to separate their blog posts into two different informational streams, one for Class A and one for Class B. Although it is possible to create several different static web pages for content specific to the particular course or section, knowing how to categorize and organize the posts on your main blog feed is very important also. Primarily, adding new blog posts is simply much more straightforward than adding or editing your static pages. Static pages are really designed to be, well, static, so they're not ideally suited to pushing out homework or daily agendas. Personally, I would use static pages to post things like course outlines, policies and procedures, and other information that isn't being updated on an ongoing basis. Homework and daily class agendas, on the other hand, are generally tied to a specific date, which naturally fits better with the chronological nature of blog posts. Also, updates to static pages are not published to RSS feeds, which means students must actually visit your site in order to access the information. Publishing homework or assignment information using your main blog feed, on the other hand, offers students, parents, and colleagues many more options for receiving the information, including subscribing by email and signing up for the RSS feed. However, since you are limited to a single blog feed per blog, if you want to use it for more than one class, it's probably necessary to use categories or tags so that people can access the information that's relevant to them without scrolling through all of your posts in order to get there. Fortunately for you, it really isn't all that difficult. First, a little background on categories and tags, the differences between them, and how they're typically used. They both have the same basic goal, providing the user with simple, one-click access to a collection of related posts or resources. But there are subtle differences in how they're used in practice. One of the best ways to visualize the differences between the two is to think of a traditional textbook. In this analogy, the categories are best represented by the chapters you'll find listed in the table of contents at the front of the book. The names of the categories can be a little longer and more descriptive than tags, which generally are limited to one or two word key phrases. So tags are more like the topical index you'll find at the back of the book. In Edublogs, the category widget, as you can see here, displays the categories either in a short menu-style list or in a pull-down menu. In both cases, this is best suited to a reasonably short list of categories. Tags, on the other hand, are displayed in a tag cloud, which can literally display hundreds of tags comfortably, depending on how you set it up. In this particular case, you can see that the size of the tag relates directly to the number of posts that's available under that topic. So you get a kind of visual clue about the amount of information that's available for each tag. So, all these things considered, for a teacher, I think it makes the most sense to use categories to sort content for your different classes and sections. If you wanted to use both, of course, you could use tags to further sort your information topically. So, for example, an English teacher could set up categories for English 9 and English 10, or for 9.1 and 9.2, depending on your particular course load, and then they could further tag their various posts as either grammar, or literature, or fun reading, or whatever you want. So, whether a student is looking for their class homework or everything you've got about grammar, the information is only a single click away. Of course, you don't need to use both if you don't want to, and truthfully, they can be used more or less interchangeably. Whether English 9 is a category or a tag, clicking on it will still bring you to that collection of resources which are all tagged or categorized in the same way. Both tags and categories are available via separate RSS feeds, so if you're already comfortable using one, there's no particular reason to switch. Also, up on the Edublogs dashboard, the sort of administrative side of your blog, there's also a little tool that will allow you to convert all of your different tags into categories or all of your different categories into tags. So if you're using one already and you'd like to make the switch, that's a pretty easy transition as well. In both cases, it's really important to remember that posts can have multiple tags and can also be put into multiple categories, so that you can easily send one post out to two different classes, for example, or you can tag your posts if it falls under more than one different general topic. Okay, enough talk, time for a quick demonstration. So in order to create a blog post and put it into a category, the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to click on New Post, which will take me to my post editing screen. With my What You See Is What You Get text editor, very sort of standard stuff, I'm going to add a title. I can put some information down here. And so in order to categorize it, very simple, you'll notice that in your sort of text editing screen, there is a whole section of categories where all the categories that I've already created appear on a list. So if I want to categorize this post, it's just a matter of clicking the radio button to put it in the various different categories. Again, notice I can put it into more than one category. If I need to add a new category, that option is also available right here. And I can just add a new category, homework, grade 9. I can add the new category, and then in a moment it'll appear on the list. Very simple stuff. One interesting thing to notice, you notice there's the option here to choose a parent category. Basically what that means is that you can have a hierarchical structure to your categories. You can have homework grade 9 as the parent category with various different other categories directly related to that underneath as sort of subcategories. If you're only working with a short list of categories, this isn't really necessary. Underneath the categories, you'll find a similar sort of box for tags. So in order to tag a post, you don't have to add them. There's no preset list of tags. You can just type them in. So this one is going to be homework. You can add more than one tag at once. It says down here, just separate the tags with commas. So you could very easily go homework, grade 9, grammar, and then all of those tags would be added to this post. You can also remove them very quickly just by Xing them out here. If you want to choose from a list of the tags you use most often, you can just click on this and that list will appear, and you can select them simply by clicking on the list. So, as you can see, the first basic step, just putting your posts into categories or tagging your posts with keywords, that part of it is actually very simple and straightforward. So out here in my main blog, you'll see that you can see the sample post that I just put in. If I click on the one-to-one laptop program category, you'll see that in a moment that sample post is the first one there because that was one of the categories I used, along with all the other posts that are in that category. Similarly, if I go in tags, one of the tags I used for that sample post was grades. So I'll click on it, and you'll see that all of the posts, including the one that I just created, that have the tag grades are now all listed in a row. Now, one thing you might be noticing is that the name of the category or the tags that are associated with this post are not displayed anywhere. Even if I click the post and sort of open it up all by itself, you can't really see which categories or which tags are associated with this post. I will tell you that this is a particularity of the theme that I've chosen. Some themes display some information with their posts, and some other themes display things slightly differently. The vast majority of themes that you can choose for your Edublog will display the category and tag information. So you can see this is the same blog with a slightly different theme, and you can see under this theme, along with the date and time, you can see it's filed under one-to-one laptop program. It's tagged with these keywords, so that you can see that under this theme, the category and tag information is clearly displayed. So the moral of the story is that if you're going to be using categories and tags as an important organizational strategy for your blog, you're going to want to be conscious of the theme that you choose so that the information you want displayed with your posts is actually displayed with your posts. So that's one thing to be conscious of and careful of. Okay, a couple of important skills we need to deal with if you really want to take full advantage of categories and tags in your blog. The first skill is, what do you do if you're not seeing this menu for categories or this tag cloud on your blog? How do you add it to your blog, or how do you get back to it to change the settings? That you're going to have to go up into your blog dashboard and get into the sort of management side of your blog. You're going to find all of those widgets under Appearance and Widgets. So first you'll notice is that all your available widgets are located over here, and over here you'll see under Sidebar 1 the widgets we already have installed. So you can see on my particular blog I already have categories installed. Now you can see I have some options here. I can put a title down if you want, or you can display it as a drop-down menu rather than the sort of menu style list. And you can change all of those. You can hit save. And similarly, under Tag Cloud, you have a couple of different options that you can choose as well. You can even use a cloud of categories if you prefer that way of visualizing it. If you don't have these things on your sidebar, it's really just a question of clicking and dragging, and you can pull the new widget to your sidebar, adjust the settings as you like, click Save, and it will be added to your sidebar. While we're here looking at widgets, it's probably worth mentioning that it's a good idea to make sure that you have this meta widget installed. What the meta widget is, among other things, is a one-click point for subscribing to the feed via RSS. So it's good to have that meta box there. Also, you may want to include this subscribe by email widget right here, so if people would rather subscribe to your feed via email, that's possible as well. Back out at the main blog page, you can see that I now have my categories menu, my tag cloud, a box for subscribing via email, and also this meta box, which allows you to subscribe to all of the blog posts via RSS, or all of the comments via RSS as well. It's important to keep in mind that if you click on this RSS button, it's going to bring you to the feed for your entire site, regardless of category and regardless of tag. I can show you with one little trick though how you or a student can subscribe to a specific category or a specific tag. So I'm just going to go up under categories, and let's use homework grade 9 as an example. If I click on that, it's going to bring me up to the page where all of the posts in just that category will be listed. Now we only have the sample post in here for the time being. All I have to do to turn this into an RSS feed is simply take the address up in the address bar and just type the word feed at the end. And what that'll do is it will create an RSS feed for just that category. And it will also bring up the option that would allow you to subscribe to it via Google Reader or your email application. You could also copy this address and then go to a third-party RSS reader and just provide that address to the piece of software or the website, and it would allow you to subscribe to just that category. It's precisely the same process with tags. So I'll just quickly show you. I'll come in here and just go to for example, the blogging tag. And if I want to subscribe to just the blogging tag, I'm just going to come up here to this address and type the word feed at the end, and then presto changeo, we've created an RSS feed specific to that tag. So that's about it for the ins and outs of categories, tags, how to tag your posts, how to add the widgets to your sidebar, and how to show students how to take advantage of the RSS feeds that your main blog page can produce. I know it was probably an excruciating amount of detail, so thank you so much for your patience if you've bared with me this long. As always, if you need any face-to-face time to help get you to the finish line, please contact me or any of the other IT personnel for assistance.